put my life at risk, and that's unacceptable.
I was in love with the man. I would never do anything to hurt him. And it's ridiculous to think that I would.
I was living with a person who was supposed to be honest with me. He's the biggest liar, and I can't live with him anymore.
I hope Dr. Polo will see how truly unfair this is and will deny all damages claimed.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Ana Polo Rules. How are you today, gentlemen?
Fine, thank you.
Fine, thank you.
All right. Freddy, please describe your relationship with Joseph. Tell me what the claim is, and let me know what relief you're seeking in this matter.
Well, Joseph was my partner for the past 5 years, and I'm looking for $200,000, and it's because he basically
damages.
In damages, yes, punitive
Okay.
damages.
As a result of what?
He infected me with HIV.
You do not know that. We never engaged in unprotected sex. Not a single time.
During the 5-year relationship, you never engaged in unprotected?
Never.
We-
Not one time.
Okay, so tell me, how do you think this happened?
Well, there was.
I mean, if you were both healthy at the beginning of the relationship 5 years ago, at what point do you discover that you've been infected with the HIV virus?
This was last year. It was in December. He had known for a couple of months beforehand.
I was waiting for the right time. I told you this.
Basically, I can't live with him anymore. We've been living in the same house for the last 6 months, and I just want to end this because he's a liar. I can't
I
live
am
with a
not
liar.
a liar.
You
How
are
can
a
you
liar.
call
You
me
didn't
a
tell me
liar?
for 2 months.
All right. So you want $200,000 so that you can
Yes, ma'am.
so that you can separate and go your own way.
Yes.
And now you recently discovered, after he informed you that he had been infected, that you were also infected. And you are telling me that you were never disloyal, you never went behind his back, you never had a slippery slope situation with somebody.
There's no
nothing. And you're telling me that the only way you were infected was through your partner of 5 years.
It's the only thing that makes sense.
Perfect.
I don't believe that to be true, Dr.
Let's,
Polo.
well, let's go to the point. Why don't you believe that?
Simply the fact that I tested positive first does not mean that I contracted the disease first. I don't know how I contracted the disease. This was the worst day of my life when I heard this news.
Okay. It is a pretty bad news.
Yes.
And the next day was the worst day of my life.
I don't even know why people think that, we shouldn't be concerned with HIV anymore. People are living lives nowadays like they're in the sexual liberations of the 60s. And I mean, this is not the case. This is still an illness
A very
that
serious
although we
disease.
survive now with heavy doses of medication, it's still debilitating on the human body.
Yes,
and it
ma'am.
really creates a problem for the lovemaking scene in the world. So,
Yes, ma'am. I've been trying to think back how I could have possibly contracted it. I've learned from the doctors that it can incubate for a while, but I can't fathom where I actually contracted it or how.
so you never suspected him as the cause
At that time, no.
of the virus?
It didn't even occur to me.
So you're really trusting of him.
I was.
As
yes.
trusting as I
Okay.
could be of him.
All right.
It came out
Now,
first.
you're telling me something else.
Yes,
While
ma'am.
he was speaking, you were saying, no, that's not right. That's not true. That's not true. What is it that you're telling me?
About a year ago,
Mm-hmm.
I began noticing Freddy's behavior changing. He was sending texts at all hours of the night and being somewhat secretive about them. I would ask him, who are you texting? And he would say, oh, nobody, it's someone from school. And it never seemed right. So at one point, I got a hold of his phone and I took a look at it.
Okay.
And I found this app on his phone
Okay.
that is a social networking app that homosexuals use for the express purpose of meeting and having sexual encounters.
I know them well.
I found that app on his phone, along with several
This is the person I'm
communications.
supposed to trust, the person that goes through my phone.
This is your partner. Listen.
But he
let me-
didn't ask me
no,
for
wait.
them.
Let me clarify something. There are no secrets between partners. If you're going to have a romantic partner in your life, and you're going to have these reservations that they cannot have your password to your Facebook or access to your phone, when you're in a relationship, in my definition and in my book, You have to be open about everything and zero reservations.
I understand
Now,
that.
let me tell you something else. What he did was a good move, because if you're acting suspiciously, and that's good enough for us to investigate, for him to investigate, which is what he did.
But I can say the same
And you
thing
know
about
what?
him.
He found something improper. And here you are, instead of accepting and saying, you know, yeah, I did have that application, and yeah, I had some conversation.
I haven't denied
Here
it.
you are shooting at him. Oh, he should have never done that.
He's
because
the
you know,
liar
he,
here. He's
he
the one who's
doesn't
been
trust
lying.
me.
Not
Well,
the liar.
apparently you're not very trustworthy.
He didn't ask me for them. Had you asked me for them, maybe we would have
You
talked
kept
about it.
erasing
But you
the
just
app
went
from
through
your phone.
my
Dr. Polo,
information.
he would continually delete the app from his phone.
right.
And then reinstall the app
How would
when
he
he
know
wanted to
that?
communicate.
What are you talking
Wonderful.
about?
It was
He's
by
making
sheer
things up.
luck that I managed to print out some of those conversations that I would love you to
Bring
read.
them to
I have
me.
not denied that I've had this app. He did not talk to me
But
about
you were
it.
deleting it.
How does he know
And-
that?
Well, apparently he knows.
All he has are
I mean,
whatever that is.
Because at times,
Okay, well let's look. Let's look at your conversations in this app. Let's see. Hey, hey. I love the way people talk nowadays. Hey, hey, hey. It's like, hey, who? What's going on? Nothing much. Just at the hotel. That's no fun. Want to meet up? Right to the point. Yep. You want to come over? Yes. Okay. Room number. So, where are you? And you? And they're giving their, you know, because you can give the access points where you are. You can tell people exactly where you are with the push of the button and stuff. So, I mean, it's obvious you were meeting with somebody.
A lot of times this is just fun talk. It's texting.
Men don't have fun conversations. Men are action figures. They don't waste time into. Look at your conversations. Hey, woo, you sound like
What it is-
caveman. You sound like caveman.
It sounds like it. It sounds like it.
yeah, I mean, come on. You know, I'm having trouble believing your story. I don't even like your demeanor. So I'm going to take a break, and when we come back, I want to hear what Joe has to say.
We went on a cruise to the
who paid for that
Keys,
cruise?
and someone got a little too happy,
Uh-huh.
right?
What are you talking
okay, so
about?
maybe he doesn't remember
I
that
do
night.
not get
And
into
what
That I
happened
think
that
was
night?
the most passionate night we've ever had, actually.
You have zero relationship with the truth right now. How can
Oh,
you be
I'm sorry,
saying these
mister. I
words?
withheld the information for 2 months.
Okay, so now you know he has these conversations and he's somehow meeting up with strangers through this application.
He denied it. He continually denied it. He
Well, I
still
don't know.
denies it.
He
I'm
can
sorry,
deny
I-
something that is so clearly posted
I
in
don't
his
know-
phone. I mean,
I don't know
that's
what
the
my-
other thing that people do nowadays that drive me berserk.
My
They drive me
text-
crazy. You present them with the evidence right in their face. They're looking at it, and they go, "It wasn't me. That's not me. No, that's not me." Well, this is your phone. This is you. Don't play games. Look at that. This is your sexy body?
With
that
all
your
due
sexy
respect,
body?
Dr. Polo, I don't know what this has to do with the 200,000 that I'm looking for.
Well, let me tell you something. You know how you get HIV? You could have been caught it through one of these fleeing relationships that you have. So again, don't play dumb. All right. Now,
I do.
are you now convinced that perhaps you caught him from him?
I'm beginning to suspect that. Yes, I
That
have
you
some. I later found another disturbing
Piece of information.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
You know what I want to do? I want to bring in an expert to talk about these HIV testings, because a lot of people like you believe that it may be dormant for a while, and I think it would be interesting to find out, you know, for what periods of time it could be dormant, when could it be discovered, how these tests work, all of these things. So let's bring in Catherine Anise, who's a clinical laboratory technician and very knowledgeable on the HIV testings. Good afternoon.
Good
Welcome.
afternoon. Thank you.
All right. Catherine, you've been a clinical laboratory technician for how long?
6 years so far.
For 6 years.
Yes.
All right. Can you explain a bit of what kind of test it is, how much blood they draw, all those?
They draw a few ounces of blood, and it's a serology test. And what we do is we check for the concentration of antibodies and proteins to see if it reacts, and if it does, it's positive.
Okay. Now, could you explain these dormant periods? Because he thought for a while there that he may have been infected for a while and that it was just dormant.
That is very possible. It could be dormant, meaning that the virus is not reacting as much, so there would be a lower concentration, making it more difficult to test positive.
For how long can it be dormant?
Probably up to like 10 years.
Up to 10 years?
Yeah.
Now, here's another question. Can you be a carrier and never show any symptoms?
Definitely.
That could also
Yeah,
happen.
there is a latent period where the symptoms go away. Maybe at first you might have flu-like symptoms and then no symptoms for years afterwards.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you very much. You can go ahead and leave if you want.
Thank you.
Do you have any questions for her? Did you have any questions for her? I'm so sorry.
None. But
Okay.
it's quite possible that he had it the entire time. And as I was saying one time, we were talking about how we had
Do not
a
try to
protected
blame this
sex
on me
the entire
still.
time. Excuse me. And it was that one time, probably towards the end of summer last year, when we were celebrating the sale of his house. And we were going to start moving into the new house, and my tests were the end of my architecture
Which I paid for.
certification.
That's all fine and dandy.
We went on a cruise
Who
to the
paid for that
Keys,
cruise?
and someone got a little too happy with the free margaritas.
What?
Right?
No,
Okay, and
no.
He doesn't
No,
drink
no.
very much, so he's kind of a lightweight.
What are
Right?
you talking
okay,
about?
so maybe he doesn't remember
I
that
do
night.
not get
And
that I
inebriated
think
that
was
night.
the most passionate night we've ever had, actually.
And?
So that is
I
a
do not
perfect
get
example of a
inebriated.
moment when it could have
That
happened.
was a low blow what you just did.
But it's
That
the
was
truth.
most passionate night.
It's the truth.
It is not the truth. You have no relationship with the
even
truth.
remember.
You have zero relationship with the truth right now. How can
Oh,
you be
I'm sorry,
saying these
mister. I
words?
withheld the information for 2 months.
Ooh, the story's getting really, really hot. I'm going to take a break, and when we come back, I'm going to hear the real juicy details. Is there a witness in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's bring in the witness.
Dr. Polo, I found more communications on that app from a man named Lewis, and he agreed to come in.
Hi, Louis.
Hi.
How are you?
Great.
With this evidence here and all these conversations with these strangers, he simply forgets all of this.
And that's only a portion, Dr. Polo.
I can imagine this is only a portion of them, but there's like a bunch of them here. And you know, that bothers me so much when people have it right on their face, and you know, and they ignore it. Is there more evidence in this case?
Yes, Dr. Polo. There is a gentleman that Freddy works with that he has made.
Is a witness to the case?
No, I found phone records.
Oh, let me see those phone records. And what do they say? Tell me.
Well, they list several calls to a man named Sergio, who is a co-worker of Freddy's.
Okay.
And there's also another man named Julio with several emoji
Of
flames.
fire.
Fire, yes.
Yeah, flame, fire.
Apparently, he's
Yeah.
extremely hot.
So, okay, so you have these repetitive calls to the same people, and when you asked him, he said, what?
Sergio is someone I work with.
And?
Someone that I've grown close to, not anyone that I've had an affair with.
No?
Okay.
No, he's very close.
And how
Considering
about
what
Julio, Julius Caesar,
I
with
have
the
many friends.
fireballs?
There are a lot of people that I know.
Okay, so here's another conversation with Sergio, your friend that you've grown close to. Are we good for tonight? Yeah, Netflix and chill again. Chill. Nah, let's get naughty. What is naughty? What do you do when you get naughty?
Just being ridiculous.
What is that?
Nothing. It's just friendly.
Nothing.
I have met with him. We have hung out. He's helping me deal with this.
I like it when you're not specific.
The last 6 months have been hell, basically.
Why?
Yeah. they've
Why?
been
Because I can't live with him. I tried to make it work after he told
Listen,
me
you
this
know how many
truth
couples,
of his.
you
because
know how
he's just
many
a big
couples
li-
live with
I-
HIV?
not-
People who love each other, really who respect each other,
had he been
who are
honest from the beginning,
monogamous,
I
who are
could've lived with
loyal
him.
to each other, who have protected sex.
I tried to do that.
Who are
You did
healthy, who
not.
take their medicine
The
together.
moment you-
I know a bunch of people, and they have a beautiful relationship.
We don't happen
so
to be
if
that
you really
kind of
love
couple.
this man, this HIV issue would not be an issue at all.
I couldn't
There's
get over
something
the
behind
lie.
all of this. Either you fell out of love.
What lie?
You're younger.
That's what
you got
happened now.
bored.
Now.
God,
After the
no.
lie.
Or you were provoked by the temptation of these applications, which, by the way, in my book, that's what they are. They're really, I mean, they're temptations for all kinds of problems in relationships. Anybody who is in a relationship and has this app that is for sex, this is an app for sex. I know this app. It's simply not in love with his partner, is not satisfied, and should be honest enough and man enough to say, you know what, this is over between us. I want to be free. I want to do my own thing, and let's each go our own way. But you didn't do that. You did it
Why don't you
apparently
just tell
behind
me?
him. Okay, is there a witness in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Let's bring in the witness.
Dr. Polo, I found more communications on that app from a man named Lewis, and he agreed to come in.
Okay.
He said he knows Freddie from that app.
He wants to
right.
know Freddie.
Hi, Louis.
Hi.
How are you?
Great.
Do you know Freddie?
Oh yeah. I
How
know
did you
him.
meet Freddie?
You know those dating apps we were talking about earlier?
The dating ones or the sexy ones?
Dating ones.
Okay.
Sexy ones.
Okay.
That's where I found him. It was nice. He sent me a message, said he was on the down low. Didn't really want to show his face. Really, really secretive. I was like, all right, fine. I'm just here for a good time.
Okay.
Told me to meet him at a hotel. Hotel turned into bar. Bar turned into club. Then after that, it turned into a free-for-all. We'd find any place that we could. Had a good old time. Well, I can tell you this much. He paid for the drinks.
He paid for the drinks.
He paid for the drink.
And the room.
With whose money, Freddie?
Room.
With
Paying
whose
for
money,
drinks.
Freddie?
Okay, so here's what you're telling me. You and him had sex.
Yes.
Did you have protected or unprotected?
Always protected.
Always
Always
protected.
protected.
But
Never.
you
He
were
wishes.
in places.
He wishes.
I'm sorry, what?
This is all false. This is all You false. hate. He's
Protected
super petty.
sex.
You know why he's here? I'll tell you why he's here. He has an ulterior motive.
An
right?
ulterior
He
motive?
knows.
Really?
Yes. Okay. When I spoke to him about my relationship with Joe, he was like, "Oh, that's so beautiful. I wish I had something like that." Guess what he's trying to do right now? Grab that relationship.
But then you started
Yes,
to
you
tell
are.
me.
You
Then
are
you started to tell me all about this
No,
Sergio
that's
guy.
okay. Listen, isn't
You're
that
making all
great?
this
You don't
up.
want to be with Joe anymore.
Yeah, you're
no,
looking
I
at,
don't now.
So,
You're
I
looking
don't
at
know,
Mr.
but you
Sergio.
care
Why is
whether he's trying
Why
to
is
get
this
Sergio?
petty queen here? Because he's got an ulterior motive.
You
That's
are on
what
the
it is.
defensive now, and you are
Unbelievable.
lying.
Well, yes, because you're gonna.
You know, with this amount of evidence, somebody around here is starting to seem shameless. We're going to take a break. When we come back, I'll rule.
And you're trying to blame this on me?
Excuse me.
You're trying to blame this on me.
This is not my fault.
No.
Mr.
This is
What-
yours.
what-
The ring.
Don't be ridiculous.
No, don't be ridiculous. You want to end this relationship, please. Don't act ridiculous. The relevancy of his testimony is the following. Is that you and him have met through this application. Is that you and him have had sex while you were in a monogamous relationship with him. That you and him went to bars where you probably had sex with other men and probably not protected.
Dr.
I mean-
Polo, I have to admit one thing. One time, once the bars weren't enough, once the hotel wasn't enough, we went to a frat house. Now, this frat house was known to have sex parties, to have orgies. First floor was usually just the tame stuff. When we went up to the second floor, it was all bareback.
Bareback.
Second floor,
What is
bareback.
that?
This is
Bareback
like
is
a
sex
novel.
without a condom.
Sex without a
condom.
condom.
Yes, that's what it is. But I didn't
Unprotected
take
sex.
part in that.
So
You were on the
even have
second
an
floor, Freddie.
expression for this.
Yeah, there's an
Bareback.
expression for a lot of things, Dr. Polo.
And you're trying to blame this on me?
Excuse me.
You're trying to blame this on me.
This is not my fault.
No.
Mr.
This is
What-
yours.
what-
I don't want it. I paid for it, but I don't want it.
You're a
Okay,
pig.
the ring.
Don't be ridiculous.
No, don't be ridiculous. You want to end this relationship, please.
That's fine.
Don't
but
act
this
ridiculous.
Is all ridiculous.
You
This is a
keep that.
circus.
You keep that.
You know, when adults decide to have a monogamous relationship, they should be brave enough to either talk to the partners and say, you know, I want an open relationship. I want a serious they should be able, but people play all these games, and now technology facilitates all these games that people play all the time. It facilitates them in a way that is indescribable. This app we've been talking about here actually tells you the location of people who are around you who want to have sex with you without knowing you. So all you have to do is just tell them, well, I'm here, you're here, find a place, boom, boom. I mean, we're starting to act like animals. Actually, animals, I think, are a little better. They sort of smell each other first. We just go for it like a civilized cavemen and women. Very sad. We're really eroding the beauty of being a human being. All right. This is the decision in this case. Pursuant to the evidence that I have received and that I have reviewed, it is quite obvious that if any of you or both of you have been infected with the HIV virus, it came about because of your infidelities. It was you who was playing around. It was you. There is no evidence whatsoever that this man has been disloyal to you 1 second, not one. So apparently it was you who brought the infection and the HIV to the home. Therefore, I grant him the sum of $200,000, which you will pay from the sale of your marital or your partnership home. You will sell it. Whatever you get from the net proceeds of the sale, $200,000 extra will go to him. I wish you good luck, and this is how I do it. You can say, come on. Thank you, Sparky.